We had an interesting case the other night. We had a minyan. It said barchu. We had a minyan for Mariv. And then at a certain point, different individuals had to go and we were left without a minyan. So we began with the minyan. And then when we got up to Shema, we started to look around. And we're like, whoa, we don't have a minyan of 10. We don't have 10 men anymore. And in order to continue with the davening, you need to say Kaddish for the mourners, said you need 10 men. So what do you do in these cases? Basically, the principle is you're allowed to finish the topic that you're involved in. That's the principle. So if you started davening one part of prayer, you can finish that one even if you don't have a full 10 men, as long as you have a majority. 6 men are left. So let's take a few cases. So for Kaddish, for instance, let's say you started saying Kaddish, 10 men were there, and then 3 men left, or 4 men even. You're left with 6. You can continue saying Kaddish, even if you don't have 10. Similarly, Birkat Kohanim, Kriyat Torah, same thing, Haftarah. Those are contained situations. Now, there are extended parts of davening, too, that are considered one portion. So an example of that is, let's say you started the silent Shema Esrei, okay, and then your minyan left before you started the repetition. So because the silent Shema Esrei is its own portion, so you can only finish that without the minyan. You don't have to, let's say 10 men are there for the beginning of Shema Esrei and several left. You don't have to get out and stop davening your silent Shema Esrei. You continue till the end, but you don't continue forward beyond that, any parts that you need a minyan for. You don't say Kaddish, you don't say other parts, Kedusha, the repetition, because you don't have a minyan. Another example is, let's say, take the next step. So you have the silent Amidas, Shach, let's say we're in morning davening, okay? You daven Shacharis with a minyan, 10 men were there, everything's fine. You begin the repetition, and all of a sudden you notice the prayer leader brings, all of a sudden someone had to go to the bathroom. I don't know, that happens, right? Or somebody had to run home for something. And now there's less than 10 men and you're in the repetition. You can continue with the full repetition. You could do Kedusha. You can even continue till later on, till all the way before Aleinu, because that's all one portion. So it's all about what portion you're in. Once you finish that portion, you can't continue afterwards without the minyan. So let's try to think about our specific case. We said it was Mariv. We said barchu. Okay? And then we looked up around Shema, and there were less than 10 men. So what do you do? The halacha is basically the first unit of davening for Mariv is barchu, the prayer, the blessings of Shema, all the way up until Kaddish before the Shema Esrei. That's all one unit. So you could say, even if you just began barchu in the night and the minyan dispersed, you can continue without a minyan all the way through the Kaddish right before the Amidah. Once you begin the Amidah, you're in another section, another portion. And then from there on, if you don't have a minyan, you can't do anything else. You can't do you can do it, but you don't say the Kaddish after Aleinu. You don't say the Kaddish before Aleinu. You're just done, basically. So that's basically the halacha. If you have a minyan, the portion that you're in, you can finish. If you don't have a minyan after that, you can't continue what you normally do with the minyan. So thankfully, in the case the other night, we roamed the halls and we found somebody to help us complete the minyan. We were able to say Kaddish that night. But this is the halacha to know. If you're in the middle of a topic, you continue that topic even without minyan, but then afterwards, you can't do the other.